Good morning, friends. How are you? Good morning. It is Monday, August. I have to think about this. Hold on just a second. 3, 4, 5. Is it the 5th? August 5th. Monday, August 5th. Good morning, friends. Good to see you. Jump on in. Tell me if you're on the replay. I would love to know where you're coming in from. I'm in a different location, so, life is a little different. And I'm not on TikTok this morning. So good morning, Magda. Good to see you, friend. Good to see you. So I'm actually in Frisco, Texas. Hey, Carrie, will you check my connections? I'm in Frisco, Texas. Good morning. We've been here since Thursday, the 1st. And we did a leadership and then for business. And then now I met my girlfriends. And so she has like 20 acres out in the country in Frisco, Texas. Well, it's not in Frisco. We were in Frisco. She's out in the country, like a couple hours away. And so I'm here because I've been friends with her since I was 4 years old. We grew up across the street from each other. And so now I'm in Minnesota and she's in Texas. So we don't get to see each other all the time. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing. But I thought, well, I have to miss tomorrow because I'll be traveling. I'll be on an airplane going back to Minnesota. So I thought I would jump on today and do something of interest. I was asked by a customer of mine about rutabaga. And I thought, oh my gosh, my mom used to make chicken soup. Good morning, Terry. Good to see you. Oh, so good to see you. Thank you. It's good to see you guys too. So she was asking me about rutabaga, and I remembered how my mom used to make chicken soup, and she always put rutabaga in it. And I thought, I haven't looked up rutabaga for a really long time, like carbohydrate content and whatever. And so I thought, oh, I'm going to do that. So I did. And sure enough, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of a starchy vegetable, whatever. And she's like, wow, like who knew, like different, whatever, like it just didn't dawn on her to think about vegetables in that way. And I thought, I'm going to do a live on vegetables and the top 10 worst vegetables for starch, for carbohydrates, because I feel like we get, I kind of went, whatever. I think there's probably some discrepancy into actually which vegetables are, I don't know, because I was getting different answers with different things. So I'm just going to give you what I got and then we can go from there. How does that sound? It's so good to see you guys. So if you don't know who I am and you're just coming across my content, my name is Kirsten Liebelt. It's really nice to meet you. And basically I was raised by a type 2 dad who was insulin dependent. And it put me on this journey, this trajectory for a very long time now on what the heck happened. Like, I don't understand. How did this all happen? Good morning, Melissa. Good morning. Good to see you. And it just put me on this path. And I know it's for a reason. I know that it is. I know that it is to help people because I'm going to be just really honest. I wasn't smart enough to just be able to figure stuff out and to just know this, whatever, I wasn't naturally a scientific person. Like I didn't get a good grade in biology. I didn't get a good grade in the sciences in general in high school. They didn't interest me. And so why I'm such a geek about it now is like, it's a total God thing because I just know now that I can help other people. And so I should probably say, if you're on the replay, put replay and where you're coming in from. See how I forget, I'm out of my routine. And also too, if the glucose product is not in stock in your state, will you please reach out to me? I had somebody reach out to me over the weekend. I'm like, thank you, because I have inventory in my home. So there's maybe just a smattering of states. And you can always go on to your account and check and see if it's in. This is for everybody who's ordering the trio. Those are the 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity that I started over 10 years ago. And so you can always check and see. And if the glucose product is not in stock, please let me know. And when I get home, I'll do another batch of mailing for you. Okay. We'll just do a little Venmo thingamajigger and get that taken care of because I want you to make sure that you have all 3 supplements so that you can get the results that you want. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can go over to Instagram. At the very top of Instagram, there's a pink highlight bubble, and you can look at all the testimonies. Well, it's not all of them, but it's a lot of them. You can go through the testimonies on Instagram, and or if you're already in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Guide number 4 has a handful of testimonies. So get in there and start looking at those and get encouraged and get your hopes up. This is what we talk about every single day. Well, almost. I mean, we do the best we can. I've been out of town a little bit here, but we try to come with information so that we can actually become our own advocates, because insulin resistance is not a terminal diagnosis, and we need to stop with the we don't have enough answers. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. No, we want different answers. We want better answers so that our health can be better. So let's talk about vegetables today, because I know that for myself, this was one of the things that I had to finally switch quite a bit, because when I decided to trade out my ingredients as an Italian girl, I was still just doing too many of the things that I love, because when you love sugar, you also transfer that love to vegetables. If fruit, vegetables, it doesn't matter, right? Like my dad, type 2 diabetic, injecting insulin into his belly twice a day. And of course, what was he living on for fruit? Oranges and bananas. Super high, super dumb, right? Super bad. So, whatever advice he was being given by the medical community, blah, blah, blah. So we have to just do our own research, and we have to become our own advocate. That's really what this is about. So, all right, let's get into vegetables. I would reward myself with things like sweet potatoes and things like that. So this is how I know that you have to do things differently. Okay. The number one thing, well, is that the highest? It's not the highest, but this is the list. Okay. So we'll just go down the list. The first one that came up on the list was potatoes. And I think we already know that that one seems to be like, we're not confused by that. Good morning, Cheryl. You are here. Good to see you. I'll be traveling tomorrow, so I will be at the airport. But then I'll be back on Wednesday. So just to let you know, I thought I'd sneak in. I'm actually staying in this little guest house that my girlfriend has on her 20 acres in Texas. And so it's a darling. You can see how darling it is. It's so cute. Anyway, okay. Potatoes, 37 grams of carbs in a cup of potato, in a medium potato. So if you even just get a medium potato, 37 grams of carbs. And you might say, your first question might be, well, okay, hold on. Give me a context. Like, how many grams of carbs am I supposed to have a day? And we do talk about this a lot, but let's just do that right now. If you look up the guidelines and you ask that question, balloons on Instagram, they will tell you the general, okay, you guys, this is crazy pants. This is why we do this. The general dietary guidelines are 45 to 65% of total daily calories should come from carbs. That's what literally showed up this morning. That's not an old article. That was a general dietary guideline, right around half. That is criminal. This is why we're obese. Okay, let's move on. The second thing is that if you're eating a low carb diet and you're thinking, oh, I eat low carb, and people say that to me a lot. You have to understand that's like the normal conversation that I'm having in my inbox. I eat healthy, I eat low carb. Okay. Low carb can be considered anywhere from 50 to 150 grams of carbs a day. Okay. Ketogenic can be considered 20 to 50. Stricter is 20 to 30. And then get this. Okay. This is the kicker of what makes me so, like, are you kidding me? For diabetes, they said for a special diabetes diet, 45 to 60 carbs per meal. I would like somebody to please explain to me why they are saying that a low carb is 50 to 150 a day And diabetics, they literally say 45 to 60 carbs a meal. Can anybody it's kind of rhetorical because nobody can explain that to me. Why would they say that, Cheryl? That's what she was told. Why would they tell you if you are already a type 2 diabetic? Why? I mean, I think that the skeptical person inside of me is because then they can keep you medicated. But that's just ridiculous. This is like if anybody only ever heard me say that, my job is done. Like, you have got to stop believing what they are telling you. They are giving you very, 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 very bad advice. And you're staying on meds because of it. And then you're living with the side effects of meds. You're exhausted. Your health is declining. And it declines into, with my dad, it declined into heart surgeries and pacemakers and kidney dialysis. Like, this is criminal. Yeah. So because Big Farm wants to make money. That is right. It's a big problem, you guys. Like, we have to wake up and we have to wake up one morning and go, okay, shoulders back. I'm becoming my own advocate. That's all there is to it. I already know inside of me that whatever I've been doing is not working. Whatever they've been telling me to do is not working. I'm going to take back my life. I'm going to do this for me. I'm going to do it for my family. I'm going to do it for my adult children who have to take care of me as I get older. And type 2 can morph into type 3. Insulin resistance of the brain. And that's what happened with my mom. Okay. So we're going to stop that insanity. So I don't know why they're telling you that you can have a 45 to 60 carbs a meal as a diabetic, but if they do, run. Just run away. Say no. I'm going to either go find a different doctor that has a different philosophy, or I'm just going to do it myself because actually, Mr. Doctor, Mrs. Doctor, it's not a terminal condition. So I don't need a team of specialists to tell me what to do. I actually don't need a team of specialists. If I had C-A-N, that word, if I had C, I would need a team of specialists. But I don't if I'm type 2. I don't. I can do this. I can actually turn this around myself because it's not a terminal diagnosis. Believe it or not, that was the recommendation from my endocrinologist dietitian. Go figure. Magda. I want to like you guys. I have so many thoughts in my head right now. It's criminal though. Hello, Carla. You are your own advocate. It's my life and I'm doing it my way. Making better choices. Low carb is the way. Reversing and taking back my life. Amen. Cheryl, type 3 diabetes drives me now. I'm on a mission. Good for you, Cheryl. You know what? It was taking care of my mom with dementia for 5 years. It was really hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was hard. It's hard. It's a hard disease. But it didn't just overnight start to exist so much more so that we are now building a memory care place on every corner. That is following every town has a dialysis center. This is going in a certain direction. Pay attention. Follow the money. Okay, so let's just do this now. Let's talk about now that we've decided that because I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to tell you the truth, because if you are not, let's now just talk about losing weight, because that's actually what seems to be more moving for us sometimes, that we just want to become a different size. And once we understand that insulin and sugars, when they are high, we can't lose weight and we're stuck like this, then we're more motivated to take action in that direction. Okay. And that's why I talk about the trio all the time, the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. Because if you can go from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive, you can actually begin to finally lose weight. That's what I did. And then I lost 3 sizes in my 50s because of it. When you're not supposed to lose 3 sizes, after my cycle stopped, when you're told that this is just the way it is, this is your metabolism, this is just what it means to have menopause, this is just what it means to blah, 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 blah. No, if you can bring down your insulin and your sugars, you actually can lose weight. And I lost 3 sizes and I'm still on my journey. But I'm just telling you, like, it's because of your insulin, which is a hormone, and your sugars being high. Okay, so we're going to deal with that. And let's just talk about this in terms of weight loss, because when I switched out my ingredients, I was still eating way too many sweet potatoes. I was eating a lot of natural sugar, like dates. I love dates. Medjool dates, you guys, they're candy. It's candy. It's amazing. Megda says, amen, Carla, you go, girl. You're doing the same. She's doing the same. Yes. I love this little tribe. I love all of my friends. You guys are so good. Okay, so potatoes, 37 grams per medium potato. Now, 37 is pretty high if you are having a keto diet and you want to do 20 or less a day. So potatoes out. Okay, now that's just because we live in insulin resistance land. Remember that it's not because God made bad food. Okay, so a medium potato, 37 grams for a medium of carbs. Corn is 27 grams per cup. I'm going to read these and I'm going to come back to corn for a specific reason. 27 grams per cup of corn. Peas are 21. Plantains are 48. Really high. Very starchy. Very starchy. Yams are 37. That's why I love them. Cassava or yucca is 78. I'm going to come back to that one too. Oh, you guys are being so sweet to each other. So cassava, if you've never heard of that, I'm going to talk to you about it here in just a second. 78 grams. Taro, which is a starchy rich vegetable. I don't think I've ever had that. 46 grams. Beets are 13 grams. Butternut squash, 16, and winter squash, 15. And so I'm going to reverse discussing 3 of those. Number 1 with squash. I actually don't eat any squash other than spaghetti squash. That's your lowest carb squash. And I love spaghetti squash. You literally can fork it and it will be like spaghetti-like. Okay. And, I'll do like butter, Parmesan, or I'll make a sauce like tonight. So last night when we got here, my girlfriend's daughter smoked a brisket. OMG. Smoked a brisket and it was lovely. And now we have leftover brisket. So she's like, well, what should we do with that tonight? And I thought, I think I'm going to take that and turn that into like make a cream Parmesan garlicky sauce and then pour it over spaghetti squash. So it's a creamy beef sauce, or creamy beef, whatever, and pour that over spaghetti squash. So that's addressing the squash situation. Hi, Kayla. Hey, Kayla. This is my daughter. This is the little guest house that Lisa has on her property. Isn't this darling? I just want you to see that because it's so cute. You just threw out your cassava flour. Okay, now I'm going to talk about cassava flour. Carla, this is exactly, zucchini. No, zucchini is good, Mandy. Hi, Mandy. Good to see you. Yes, zucchini is good. But cassava flour. Now I'm going to go from squash. I choose spaghetti squash and I don't eat other squashes. I love squash. But that to me is like candy because it's high starch. That's why we love the things we like. Hello. You started the trio on Friday, Cheryl. Okay, so you started the trio on Friday, minus Slim. What is that? Oh, minus the Slimetry. I think maybe is what you're saying. As you're using a GLP-1. Oh, you're using a continuous glucose monitor. Yay, Cheryl, way to go. Now you're going to know how food is affecting your sugars. Way to go. Correct. Okay. That's awesome. Good for you. Okay. I don't do squash other than spaghetti squash. Cassava flour, if you look at, I think it's Siete, which is like a gluten-free chip. They make an almond flour tortilla, which is amazing. But the chips, if you look on the back, they're cassava flour. So that would be very easy to think that you're doing a good thing because it's a grain-free chip. It's a grain-free chip. So you would think, oh, this is a good choice. But cassava, which is yucca, 78 grams per cup. 78 grams. Super high. That's the highest thing I'm talking about today. Super high. So what if you only should have 20 grams or less a day in order to make gains? That's going to be like the opposite, whatever. If you want to take ground in losing weight, in losing fat, are you going to want to eat cassava flour? You're not. But again, stuff like this gets marketed to us and then we are confused. So there you go. Okay. All right. So cassava out. She just threw out her cassava flour. Good girl. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is corn. So we might think to ourselves, well, I don't eat corn. Like I'm not having corn on the 4th of July, or I'm not having corn at Thanksgiving or whatever. Corn is in everything. So I wanted to talk to you about all of the different things that you might not be paying attention to that have corn syrup in them, because it is a cheap crop to grow and to use to sweeten food. Okay? This is why corn syrup is in everything. So it's not just the corn off the cob that we might be thinking we need to give up, but now you have to become a label reader because they put it in everything. Turn around the container of, you're not going to guess this one because you're not eating this one, formula. Look at a container of baby formula and tell me what the first ingredient is. That should really shock us. That should really bother us. So what are we doing to our babies when breast milk is actually high fat? I'm just saying, I'm not telling you I've got those answers. I'm just telling you what is true. And you need to go down your own path of asking those questions like, what are we doing to our children at this young age? Reading labels has become your new norm when grocery shopping. Way to go, Mandy. Way to go. It changes everything because you know what? You're not restricting yourself. You have to hear me on this. You're not. You're literally just shifting. So tonight when I make this like leftover brisket cream Parmesan sauce and put it over spaghetti squash, am I lacking anything? Am I hating my life? No, like it's going to taste better than a restaurant. It's going to be phenomenal. And it's going to have been super easy too. They got us right from birth with the terrible stuff. I know. You guys, it's criminal. It's so diabolical. And the baby food now has sugar as one of the ingredients. You guys, it's an addiction thing. I mean, would we allow them to put heroin in our baby formula and food? Like, would we do that? Would we be like, oh, just a little bit won't hurt them? I mean, honestly, like, okay, I got to get off that tangent because. Okay, I think I'm good. Yes, just terrible. Okay, so what has corn syrup in it? What do you need to pay attention to now? Okay, here we go. Sodas, number one, sugar sodas. It's corn syrup, you guys. It's corn syrup. And you have to remember now, remember when we talk about the trio and one of the supplements in the trio of the 3 supplements that help with insulin sensitivity, one of them is for your liver because your liver is taking the brunt of everything. And one of the reasons why is because corn syrup can only be metabolized by the liver. So all of the foods that I'm about to read, this is why you need to love your liver so that it can help you metabolize your fat again. Because guess what? You can't lose weight if your liver is tired and toxic. You can't lose fat. It will not metabolize your fat. And this is the fat we want to get rid of, you guys. We want to get rid of the fat on our back and on our arms and on the inside of our knees and our bellies. We want to get rid of all of this, right? Well, then we have to make our body function at a different level from the inside out. That's where the liver supplement comes in, so helpful because of what we have done with corn all of this time. Sodas, candy, baked goods, breakfast cereal. How much breakfast cereal have you eaten in your lifetime? It's been a lot for me. I mean, hello. Condiments and sauces, like, you guys, I'm so sorry to tell you. I'm so sorry. I'm the bearer of bad news. Look at the ingredients on the Chick-fil-A sauce. It's like, doggone it. That's why it tastes so good, because corn syrup is freaking amazing. I could eat a spoonful of corn syrup out of a container. And sweetened condensed milk. They taste so good. Condiments and sauces, you can imagine all of your barbecue sauces. Like, you can buy good ones, you can buy better ones, but most of them are corn syrup. Like, if you look at any Famous Dave's or whatever, breads and rolls. So it's in all of your breads. It's in your yogurts. It's in your canned fruit, if you're a canned fruit person. It's in your snacks, all the snacks that you're grabbing. You're grabbing 100-calorie Oreos and 100-calorie this or whatever. And you're grabbing snacks, a granola bar that you thought was healthy. And it's in, get this one, processed meats. I had no idea. So if you go to the bratwurst aisle, and this is a tough one. This is why I buy chicken sausages. You know how I talk about chicken sausages a lot? Because when you look at bratwurst or hot dogs, and if you look at the ingredients, you will see corn syrup as one of the ingredients. It's just shocking because you don't think about corn syrup in meat, but it is. And so you go to buy Johnsonville. That's a common in Minnesota. That's a common brand. I don't know if it's a common brand for you guys, but it is for us. Johnsonville brats. And you're like, oh, yay. And if you turn it over, it's really challenging to find a bratwurst that doesn't have corn syrup in it. So I buy chicken sausages instead. I can get those at Aldi's. I can get them at Costco. I can get them at Walmart, all three places, 3 different brands. One is Kirkland, one is Never Any, and one is, I don't think I remember, Gilbert's at Walmart. So, and then I can buy different flavors. I can buy the Italian sausage, or I can buy the pepper and Parmesan, or I can buy, like a Gouda, a smoked Gouda. That's how I do that. So instead of buying bratwurst, just turn around your packages, because who knew that processed meats had so much corn syrup in them? Crazy. Okay, Cheryl, you go, go, go. Good to see you. So good to see you. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, because I think that a lot of people are where I was, meaning I was making changes, but it wasn't moving the needle enough because I had not done enough research when it came to things like vegetables and fruits. So fruits for me, that's easy. I only eat berries. That's easy. Vegetables, everything has carbs, you guys. Almost everything does. And that's okay. Carbs are not evil and wicked. We're just shifting things so that our body can stop burning sugar for fuel, because that's its preferred fuel source. When you eat anything that spikes your sugars, and that's just why we talk in terms of carbs, because it's an easy way to talk about what is spiking your body. And your insulin is going and it's gobbling up the sugar that you're eating, the glucose that's getting turned. Your food is turning into glucose. It's an automatic. It's your body's function. Turns it into glucose, but is it a little bit of glucose or is it a lot of bit of glucose? If it's just a little bit of glucose, then you only need a little bit of insulin to gobble it up and try to get it into your cell. If it's a lot of bit of glucose, then it's like, putting out more insulin, more insulin, more insulin to try to gobble that up and take it into your cell. But when your cell is resistant, then all of that extra sugar, glucose, gets turned into fat. That's why you get weird fat pockets on your body. That's why over time you can get like a weird shelf on your hips. It's toxins and it's fat coming from extra glucose, because insulin is a fat storing hormone. So if it can't shuttle it into your cell, it's going to shuttle it into your rear end. Just saying, it can't get into your cell, so it's going to put it on your rear, or it's going to put it on your back, or it's going to put it on your belly, or it's going to put it on the inside of your knees. That's what's happening. So you want to stop this. So any advice that they give you about 45 to 60 grams of carbs a meal as a diabetic, trash that information. Throw it away, trash it. You will, I'm just going to tell you the truth. You will absolutely never get to where you want to go. It will never happen. It won't happen. In my opinion, as a person who does not have any letters after her name, and I'm only just an Italian girl who figured it out, in my opinion, you will absolutely never lose a pound. And if you do, potentially you're losing muscle if you're using like an injection. These are big issues, really big issues. So we have to bring that way, like simmer down. Woo, bring it way down, way down, way down, way down, way down. And do not talk about net carbs. Don't do that. You're just trying to play around the edges of an envelope. Just don't do that. You're driving yourself crazy. Just go full on carbs and just recognize that even onions and garlic have carbs. And just keep it way, way, way down. And learn how to make food in these parameters. Like tonight, I'm going to love the food that I make. A Parmesan cream sauce with brisket over spaghetti squash. Okay. Like, one of the meals that I did this weekend, and I did it twice. If you were in my stories, we were staying at the Omni Resort in Frisco, Texas for a business leadership conference. And across the street was a place called the Tricky Fish. So I went over there on the first day, Friday, and I'm just so hungry. And I can see that they have bacon wrapped shrimp, but they put a maple glaze on it, and then they serve it with some carbohydrate starch side. And I said, okay, is there any way that you could leave the maple glaze off? And the guy goes, yeah, I can do that. He goes, hey, do you want me to put a dry rub on there for you? Because otherwise it might not be super flavorful. And I'm like, you're amazing. Yes, please. So he does that. I said, and then for the side, do you have veggies? What do you have for vegetables? And he said, well, we can do grilled veggies. I'm like, I love you. You're my new best friend. It was so stinking phenomenal, you guys. It was like $22. Now, I don't know. Some of y'all might think that's expensive, but I paid $22 for like total crap at the airport. So I was really happy in, like an area where I was expecting it to even be more. I had 2 skewers of shrimp with bacon. So 8 shrimp altogether, bacon wrapped with a dry rub, and it was kind of Cajun-y. And then these grilled seasoned vegetables that were like squash and zucchini, like summer squash. You know what I'm talking about? Not the squash that we were just talking about. The zucchini squash conversation, because that's a different one. And onions, sliced onions, and whatever they had. I had it both Friday and Saturday. It was so dang good. So when you can find something like that and you start to just think a little differently when you eat out, you can really make headway. And then you're like, oh no, I'm not eating and hating my food. I actually love my food. And I can still be a total foodie while I'm doing this. You found out years after trying so hard to bring down your blood sugar and weight loss. Everybody listen up to this, because I think she's going to tell us something good. That I am speaking the truth. Okay, well, I hadn't seen that. Yes, subbing and tweaking works for me. Yep. So after years of trying to get down her blood sugar and losing weight. And so this is why my track is completely different than everybody else's track. And I understand. I'm not confused. I know that I am a part of the difference maker when it comes to having this track. So if you go to the matrix, if you go to the medical community, they're going to tell you that you should eat really bad ingredients. Like you can have 45 to 60 carbs a meal, 150 a day of grams of carbs. And then they're going to say, oh no, you're pre-type 2. Shocker. We didn't see that one coming. And then they're going to give you scripts. I'm going to talk to you about targeted supplementation. And then I'm going to talk to you about ingredient trade outs, like what Carla's talking about, tweaking. And then I'm going to do a challenge in the Facebook group every single month. We're doing our 15th one starting August 12th. And the group is called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And you can absolutely jump in there and take part in the free challenge. You will not be sad that you did it. I have some people that have done 7 of them in a row now. And because repetition is the mother of all skill. This is why I can never talk too much. I can never come on here and say too much, because it takes a while for our brains to actually shift from the indoctrination that we've had since we were little kids. We started learning about the food pyramid in elementary school. And so even though I'm almost 60 years old, like I'm still, learning new things about how our body functions, and how we've just never been told how our body actually functions. We've been just told how to properly dose ourselves with scripts. And I'm just not okay with that anymore, right? So I'm going to grab a paper towel. Like, wait, my nose. And I just think this is ridiculous. So if you've never, ever heard me talk about the trio, or if you're on it, fantastic. And if the glucose product is out of stock, please reach out to me. I have it in my inventory. We'll do a little Venmo thingamajigger, and then I'll ship it out to you. I go home tomorrow. On Tuesday, I'll be flying from Dallas to Minnesota. But having said that, the trio are 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. That's why I tell you, don't take my advice on this. Do not. Don't take my recommendation. If you're in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, go to guide number 4 and look at the testimonies. And then if you need to get a hold of me in Messenger, because you're already on Facebook, it's just the going up to the corner and hitting Messenger and finding me, Kirsten Liebelt, and my personal page is Kirsten Liebelt. That's the Italian part of me, Fragale. Kirsten Liebelt. Go up to Messenger and say, okay, I was reading the testimonies in the guide in the group. How can I look at the trio? Can you send me a cart of the trio? And I will. And you can just look at them all in one place. Or if you're on Instagram, you can just DM me, just go into my inbox, and you can talk to me there. But it is so beneficial when you can actually start to see people. And on Instagram, there's a pink highlight bubble at the top of the page with testimonies that you can just do this. Just touch, and read. I'm the only one in my family that avoided type 2. This is why I say, don't take my advice, or don't take my story. Take everybody else's story, because you guys are the ones giving me data. My morning sugars are down 30 points. I've down 30 points in the morning, and I've lost 14 pounds over 2.5 months. It's been 3 months. Blood pressure went, I'm off of 2 BP meds, and I've lost 10 pounds. I'm trying to think of a lot of the different ones. There's so many. Oh, it's like the beginning of March. Oh, by the way, I've lost 25 pounds since January 1st. After 2 weeks in, I started to lose a pound a day. I'm trying to think. There's so many of them. And those are the types of stories that you have to find something that resonates with you, because when you fill in nutritional deficiencies, this is what happens. It's literally like lifting up the hood of your car and finding the container for your power steering fluid. And your power steering is super hard. That steering wheel will not budge. And that's kind of like the gauge of your weight loss, your fat burning. It's just, it's stuck. It's like, that's what's going on. And when you can actually get your body to function from the inside out, all of a sudden your liver goes, let's go. Let's metabolize some fat. Your metabolism, the visceral belly fat that's around your organs underneath the fat that you can squeeze, that's being addressed. Insulin, sugars, cravings, the food noise right here, the food noise. Because when you stop being so hangry all the time, which is a sign of insulin resistance, when you stop the hangriness, you're chasing the carbs because you're so exhausted, because you're not getting fuel into your cell. Those types of things make such a difference in the way that you can function and actually see life. Then I will teach you ingredient trade outs, because now you can at least think a little more straight, and we'll do a challenge every month. And I'll teach you how to like take down that month. 5 days a week, 2:00 Central Standard Time in the group. I'll go live. This one's starting August 12th, and we'll just hammer the information. This is what insulin resistance is. This is how it's a hormone. Here are some food ingredient trade outs. Look at my pantry. Look at my refrigerator. Let's make a recipe. We're going to do that every month. And you put those months together, and guess what you have at the end? You have a result. Do you think that result is better or worse than here are your scripts? First, you start on MET. Now you need an HBP med. Now you need an STATIN. And because that took down your cholesterol, which your brain needed and your hormones needed, now you're on an anti-sadness. So here's your formula. And so many of you reach out and go, that's literally exactly what happened. I'm like, I know, because I've heard from you guys. You guys have told me the stories. So I'm not making it up. Literally, this content comes out of talking to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women, of you telling me your stories. And then now collecting all of your data from being on the trio, the 3 supplements, and collecting that data has been such a pleasure, because now I'm like, I knew that it worked for me. I knew that it worked for some local Minnesota people, but now I know that it works across the board for a lot of people. Never any claims, and not everything is one fit for everybody, right? We don't do that mess. And we don't talk about magical potions or anything like that. We just talk about, for those bodies that need to function at a higher level, now you have a chance. Now you have hope. And there's a 6-month guarantee on the products anyway. So what are you going to lose? Let's see. It's August, September, October, November, December, January. For the next 6 months, you have a guarantee on products. That's crazy pants. Find me that guarantee on supplements anywhere else. I'm just saying, that's amazing. Anyway, so if you need something from me today, please reach out to me. Don't self-sabotage. Don't do that. And if you need to know about Carb Blocker to help you transition your carbs, ask me about that. I'll throw that in a cart for you also. If you already know your cortisol is high, ask me. I'll talk to you about ashwagandha. Or if you have high inflammation, you just are so tired of feeling so freaking inflamed all the time, I'll talk to you about a turmeric or something like that, okay? So, but reach out to me, because I can actually talk to you and help you be specific with what you need. And then you don't have to have a cupboard full of supplements like you have a makeup drawer full of makeup. You can actually have things that are working for you. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's so fun to have all my friends on today. And I will be traveling tomorrow, so you can, I will be back on Wednesday, because basically we do Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's what we do. And we just chat about this. And I look forward to seeing everybody's conversations today. I'll be checking it all out and seeing who needs what. And then again, we'll be right back Wednesday, August 7th at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So have a really good day. If you need anything, you know where to find me, okay? See you later. Go read your labels. Bye, you guys. There we go. All right. See you later.